There's this phrase that people use, living rent-free in someone's head. And usually it's said like a joke or like a win. But that's not how this felt. When I first went no contact with my family, my mind did not get the memo. I started having these dreams, and they weren't just normal dreams. They were intense. In them, I was trying to explain myself, trying to be heard, trying to get them to understand what I saw, what I felt, what I had finally put words to. And I couldn't. It was like talking through glass or like screaming underwater. I would get so emotional in these dreams that I was crying, like full body crying, to the point where it felt hard to breathe, and that actually would make me wake up because of that panic from not being able to breathe. And nothing felt resolved. There was no conversation, there was no understanding, no closure, I guess you could say. It was just silence. And that silence would follow me into the day. Because when you walk away from something like that, you don't just lose people, you lose the possibility of being understood by them. And that's a different kind of loss. It's quieter, but it lingers. So for a while, my mind was trying to finish that conversation over and over and over again, like it believed that if I could just say it the right way, if I could just find the right words, maybe something would click in their heads. Maybe they would finally see me. But that moment never came. And eventually something shifted in me. I remember having this thought, if I'm still thinking about them like this, I wonder if they're thinking about me too. And not in a nostalgic way, but in a, what does she think? Or what is she saying? Or what does she know kind of way. And I realized I might be living rent-free in their head, but not in the way people usually mean it, because this isn't about control or winning. I feel like it's about something much deeper. See, I was having dreams because my mind was trying to process something real. It was trying to process grief and the confusion and the loss of the situation. And my brain was doing what it's supposed to do. It was trying to integrate an experience that did not get a proper ending. But on the other side, on the narcissist side, there was no integration. There's no real closure that can happen, because closure requires something that not everyone has access to. It requires self-awareness. It requires accountability. Even the ability to sit with discomfort and ask, could I have been wrong? And if that's not there, then their story doesn't resolve. It just loops and loops and loops. And in that loop, I exist. Not as I actually am, but as a question mark. As a loose end. As something unfinished. They don't know what I've fully seen. They don't know what I've named. They don't know what I've let go of and what I haven't. And that uncertainty, oh my God, that's got to be eating them up. That uncertainty doesn't heal. It stays open. So while I was having dreams, trying to be heard, they might be having thoughts, trying to figure me out. But here's the difference. My dreams started to fade. Not all at once, but slowly. Because I stopped trying to have the conversation. I stopped rehearsing what I would say. I stopped trying to be understood by people who just weren't capable, who just weren't capable of understanding me in the first place. And that's when something really important happened. I started to give myself closure. Not the kind where everything feels tied up neatly, because I don't think there's really a way of doing that with a no contact situation, but the kind where you accept that it won't be. That some conversations don't end with resolution, they end with distance. And that distance is the resolution. I don't need them to hear me anymore. I heard me. I don't need them to validate what I experienced, because I trust in myself what I experienced. And the more I did that, the quieter my mind became around the situation. The dreams lost their intensity, although I do have the occasional one here, every now and then. But the urgency softened, because I wasn't trying to solve something unsolvable anymore. And that's when I realized, like, healing is not a shared process. It's not something two people have to agree on. It's something you do on your own. And it's uneven. The person who's willing to look inward, to question, to feel, to sit with hard truths, they move forward. And the person who avoids that stays in that loop. So yes, maybe I am living rent-free in their head. And not because I'm trying to, not because I need to, like, oh, good, they should be thinking about me, but because I walked away without giving them the version of me that they could understand. And that's something that may never resolve for them, but it resolved for me. And maybe that's the real shift. Not being understood, but no longer needing to be understood. And I'll be honest, there's a kind of peace in that. It doesn't require someone else to agree with you. It's just you. And for the first time, like, that is enough. So anyway, if you have narcissists in your life or no longer in your life, I hope this is, helpful to you or relatable to you. And I appreciate you for listening to my little monologue here. All right. Bye.